Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. This is Wanyiha Jane Dots, and I'm happy to be here. I welcome you guys. Today we are talking about letting go, because it's very important. Something that is going to happen in this season. Separation will happen in this season, and if you're not ready, you might end up hurting yourself, wasting time, delaying, having setbacks because you have refused to let go. So we are going to jump into this immediately. I'm going to read from Genesis 13, and please, if you have your Bible closed, jump on there with me and let's read. This is about Abraham and Lot separating. So Abraham went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abraham had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold. From the Negev, he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, but the land could not support them while they stayed, for their possessions were so great and they were not able to stay. And quarreling arose between Abram's herdsmen and the herdsmen of Lot. The Canaanites and the Perizzites were also living in the land at the time. So Abram said to Lot, let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herdsmen and mine. For we are brothers. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left. Lot looked up and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt towards Zoar. In brackets, this was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So, point to note. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out toward the east. The two men parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had parted from him, lift up your eyes from where you are and look north and south, east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go, walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. So Abram moved his tent and went to live near the great trees of Mamre at Hebron, where he built an altar to the Lord. So I'm gonna dare say that it was important for Abram to separate with Lot, and not for obvious reasons. I say that because when Abram was leaving home, he was not supposed to take Lot with him. And I think in a few videos back, I mentioned that sometimes God will call you and call you with just your blood. Not that Lot wasn't his blood, but he was not meant to bring anybody else apart from Sarah and his property and his workers, yeah? Because God had promised that he would give him a son. So all the time that they were doing this journey with Lot, God had not spoken, yeah? And when it came, because of the quarreling, when it came to a point where Abraham now had to call Lot on the side. You can tell Lot was grown. Somebody who had his property, sheep and all that, they didn't need to be staying together. They didn't need to be working together. But sometimes people will walk together because they feel stuck together. They feel like they owe each other. And that's the thing about doing life with people. We come together. Sometimes it takes time even for us to entertain like that. But when it's time to separate, it is very difficult. Sometimes we carry each other for so long, yeah? And we just do not know at what point we should let go. And sometimes we know we should let go. Look, I'm in admiration of people who have let go of me. And I'm like, thank you. Because being in the place that I am, I didn't know how to let go of some people, and I knew that it was time. I knew it was so important for them to disconnect so that they can focus on what they are doing, because it's very important that you do not delay in a season, yeah? And I realized that sometimes you keep together with people and you do not grow. Your thoughts don't grow, and you inside you feel like, I have grown, I have learned so much. But whenever you're together with these people, you talk the same way. It's like you feel the pressure to just perform. You talk the same way, because that's how you're used to talking with them. You're used to sort of, I don't know how I can put it, but especially as Christians, we tend to people please a lot because we've been conditioned by the society, we've been conditioned by the church, and also ourselves. Sometimes we do not have the clarity. We do not read, we do not research, we do not even travel. We're so meek, we're so nice. We want to just stay and be available, yeah? And sometimes you find that whatever you will do that will cause the next person to feel like now you're changing, now you're separating, now you're, removing yourself, sometimes may cause them to react, yeah? And you fear these people because their reactions are real. Now, let me tell you, in this particular context, I do think that Abraham was kind of a people pleaser. And because sometimes, especially when people are going abroad, there's so many people who would wish that he would carry their children with them. I'm sorry if I'm hurting anyone, but it does happen, yeah? And I've ever even considered that if I ever go, because that time it was hot and nice, I was thinking after my husband left, oh, I would bring my niece with me. What is the problem? And just give them the chances in this land, yeah? And there's nothing wrong with that if God has allowed it. But God is very particular in a way that we are not, because he sees things that we do not see. He sees in secret, yeah? And that is why he answers in the open. So without going too far into that, I'm sure you grasp that, yeah? We'll talk about why people separate and why it has to happen, why you have to let go. And I know it's very valid. It's very hard to let people go because people mean different things to us, yeah? Sometimes it's the hardest thing, yeah? So I will go right into my points, yeah? You have to let people go, and people go because the season is changing. This is one very peculiar season, and I've witnessed a season like this before. And when something was said about separating, I did not even understand that it would apply to me, And without going too deep, let me just clarify. There are places where you are that now you're just being sustained, yeah? You're just being sustained. Even what you're eating is just barely enough. I don't know if you've ever had a friend that you guys were just surviving. Hey, you're like, hey, ukona 10 bob, Ukona kobole, we add. Sometimes I just want to speak Swahili. Do you have this much? Let's add it together so that we can do this thing that we want to do. It is a season of survival. It is a season where you're just depending on each other heavily. And as you're depending on each other, you're tolerating each other and you're ignoring each other's mistakes. It's wonderful. You're loving on each other. And even when you're pissed off, you're like, let it go. I know this person, they're my friend, yeah? And then it comes a season that you do not expect. It comes a season where you have to be separated. And while at that point you may be happy to even let go because you're like, hey, enda wewe ndio utatusaidia. You're our breakthrough. Sometimes we forget that where this person goes, they will face things that they have to grow into. And especially this journey abroad, yeah? We come here and start lives from scratch. You understand? I remember at the time I was leaving, and you guys consider my husband was here for 7 years. He was taking care of us, yeah? So even at the time I'm coming, he's even moved to the States, yeah? As much as we think people have so much money here, yeah? I had to walk steps that made me regret ever thinking like that. I had to pay my dues to him because he's God's son, and God cared about everything he was going through and silently just taking it, you know, just tolerating it, yeah? Because family, right? We take on so much because we think you do not want this person to vex. You do not want this person to judge you, because you can even see from where you're standing that they do not understand. And sometimes we'll even call our friends and complain and just want to document. You want to explain this situation, yeah? But you don't even know that you're being judged in the same context, you know? So, where was I? I was saying that we separate sometimes because the provision in that season is over. The season where you used to share, where you used to just give what you have, used to contribute together, sit together and eat, it is over. I liken this to the point where the children of the Israelites were in the desert, in the wilderness, yeah, walking towards the Jordan, and they were provided with manna for the longest time. At first they loved it, and then it got to be too much. You know, I'm sure if you've ever eaten githeri day after day after day, or you're eating skuma day after day, as much as you love each other, as much as you just care so much about each other, you're like, enough, I want more. And you all agree you want more. But are you even ready to separate? You're not, because you're thinking, hey, what if I lose this person? And sometimes you don't even think about that. You're like, our friendship can survive anything. You just go, okay? Just go. You're the one who will lift us from here. And then the person goes, and because you do not know the time that it will take, you start vexing, yeah? And you know why you're getting mad? Because you're not living your dreams. You're looking at that person, you want them to be the one to take care of you. You're thinking, this person has really forgotten, yeah? They're eating chicken now. And let me tell you, abroad here, chicken is nothing. Chicken is one of the cheapest meats, yeah? So you can actually eat chicken every day, you know? And let's say you've come alone. I will do a content and just show you. Let's say you've even come alone. You bought one chicken. You can eat that chicken 4 times, you know, because you quarter that even if you're eating a quarter, which is a lot even for one person, yeah? But that's $5 or $6 because now food prices have really gone high. Because that person is eating chicken, you're like, this person already forgot what you were going through. And I understand. It's difficult, especially in our country. It's difficult. Anyway, let's continue. So you start thinking, my God, this person has forgotten me. And then you do not let go in the right way. You start complaining, you start grumbling, you start focusing on the wrong things. And let me tell you, there are people at the point of separation they know will never be together again, and they expose your secrets, they complain about you, they say things, and you're wondering, weren't you guys friends? You know, didn't you used to benefit a lot from this person? Yeah, because it's like at the point where you guys are separating, you're losing hope of ever having your influence over this person, and you become so nasty, yeah? But I'm saying all this to say it's important to let go, and it's also important to focus, because the God who has separated this person has a great plan for you. And that is why you should ask him, what is the plan? You must know that in that season, God is in the neighborhood. He's taking this person away, but he also still has instruction for you. I remember at the point of where my husband was leaving, I had my own instructions, but I let despair set in. And I'm telling you, for 2 straight years, I would wake up crying. First thing in the morning, I'm crying. I am hating. I am thinking, yani, this Kenya, sijui nothing is good here, yeah? And I And the things that I even did in that season were so messed up. Like just trying to follow him at that point, and we were all in agreement, yeah? If I'm being kind to myself, we were all in agreement, but being denied that visa, and I had lost everything. Oh God, I could not see what God was going to do in my life. I was like, I am so unlucky. Yani, I am hated beyond words. These were my 7 years where I was supposed to grow into a giant. Yet I wasted so much time just looking at how he has gone, looking at, oh, who do I have? I have nobody. And it was not easy. As much as he was also separated, God was separating me with so many people that I didn't know, but I was clinging to these people. I was clinging to what I was doing, you know. And let me tell you, some people really shook me off. I did not seem important anymore because he is gone. They don't want me to be a problem to them, you know, and that hurts. I've even felt emotional, yeah? So even places I thought would be safe for me were not, you know? And I realized that we do not see in that moment, we do not catch it. We are being very slow because sometimes we are even envious, yeah? We are even envious of the person, Amenda Maju. And we are left here with our problems, you know? But God has an instruction for you. Let me not belabor that point, but people get separated because the provision for that season is over. Now you're moving to a different season. God wants to add on to you, all of you. All of you. Do you understand? God wants to add to you, even if you've been left behind. He wants to enrich you. He wants to install something in you. And let me tell you, if your friend has left, yeah, and perhaps it's been like for me 7 years, and the time you come, it will be so timely. You will come with a new thing that is needed in that place. It will be a wonder even to this person, like, my God, were you growing this much? You know, and you have to let pain do its thing. Pain will bear something beautiful. You have to let it, okay? So let's go to point number 2. Hi guys, I had to stop for a bit and let's jump on to point number 2. You are separated, or people leave, and you have to let go because God is pruning you. He truly is. And I want us to read John 15. I was actually checking how far we can read, but let's read all of it to 17 because it's just very beautiful. I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do not bear fruit, so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, and you're the branches. Those who remain in me, and I in them, will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you're my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. I have loved you even as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, you remain in my love, just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in love. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. This is my commandment, that you love one another, that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, love each other in the same way I have loved you. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. You're my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you slaves because a master does not confide in his slaves. Now you're my friends, since I have told you everything the Father told me. You did not choose me. I chose you. I chose you. I appointed you to go and produce lasting fruit so that the Father will give you whatever you ask for using my name. This is my command. Love each other. And I want to say, this John 15 up to that 17, it covers a lot of things. And I'm sure you've had sermons from portions of it. But what I want to say is that unless God prunes us, unless God removes some of us, yeah, from each other, and Him being the true vine, we are all branches or in Him, yeah, things have to change in your life in order for you to grow strongly. Some of you are even farmers, yeah. I don't know enough about farming, but I wish I did. I just love how God compares even life and nature, just like a farmer does, yeah. A lot is compared to a farmer because there's so much work that a farmer does just to improve the crop, to improve the fruit, yeah. If indeed you're the fruit, or you're the one that God is working on individually, all of us, God is working on us. Unless He prunes us, we cannot grow. And sometimes, sadly, what He has to prune is your best friend. What He has to cut off is your best friend. You understand? And sometimes it is just so hard to let go because sometimes, even in our judgment, it is not time. It is not right. We are panicking. Who are we going to have? And yet God is all we need, but we don't see that, yeah? So when God is growing you, He has to cut off some people. And think about it. Sometimes it's not all love and joy. Sometimes God is removing somebody you don't even particularly like. But because of the circumstances, you guys have been to have had to stay together for a long time, and you got used to that. You conditioned yourselves. I mean, it's even hard to tell this person that I cannot be with you because you found yourselves together, yeah. But now God is giving you a chance to let go. But it is so difficult. You don't want to, and sometimes you know the reason, you know why God had to separate you, but you want to gaslight the other person who has left because you feel like it was so wrong that they left like this. It was so wrong that they left me. The little child in us is crying. We are throwing tantrums like, you cannot go because you're going to better. Let me tell you, it is so funny because when people are failing, we don't mind. Unless it is really bothersome to us, yeah, we are like, okay, even that person is like that, and it's not always like that. Sometimes it's really a burden to us when people fail, but God wants to elevate someone you do not expect. Do you think we can come to a place where we are okay with what God is doing in other people's lives just so we can grow? Just so we can let His perfect work be carried out in us, just so we can believe, or even as He does that, can we believe that He's doing it for us? Because everything that happens is for our good. He's not doing it to destroy us. He's not doing it to hurt us, and that is why we should call on Him so that He tells us what He's doing, because He will show us things that no eye has seen, things that we never thought about, things that we have not heard. We need to have more faith. On to number 3. God does this to clear our vision. I remember one time that I had a friend, a very close friend. We were tight. We saw each other almost every day, yeah? And because we were tight like that, we started seeing things the same way. And some things were not good. And let me tell you, she used to make me so happy when she got angry. And I don't even think she was an angry person. But the way I was cheering that mess, whenever she got angry, I would be like, you go. Yeah, they will know you. You understand? And sometimes we are doing these things, we are messing up. We are messing up, we are corrupting each other. And think about it. God did not speak to Abraham about how much He would bless the land He had chosen, because it is said when theologians expound Genesis chapter 13 that Abraham made an offer to Lot and told him, choose where you want to go. I bet Lot was so excited at that point to have the first dibs. He wasn't even decent enough to be like, uncle, you brought me all this way, you go first. No. He was like, I want there. He could see the land was so green, so beautiful. It was in the valley. There was a river. Hey, you guy, even if it's you. So Lot chose there. And where Abraham went was way up, and nothing much was happening, yeah? But where he went, God spoke to him then after Lot had left and told him, look at this land. I will bless you here. I will bless you here, even though it didn't look like anything. But the way Abraham was, at that point, he was like, nephew, just go. I don't want any quarreling. I don't want anything. Just go. Is that the land you've chosen? Yeah, go. You have my blessing. And then when he went is when God speaks. Do you understand? Sometimes we have to let people go so we can hear what God is saying to us about this situation. Me and my friend, we grew each other for so long, and God gave us a time of grace, you know. We were growing, we were loving each other, but we knew each other, and we knew each other's madness, and we were even enabling each other. Like, we could never say no to each other. There were certain things that were concerned, you know, and so we would share, you know. No, but let me tell you, the way I used to enable her madness, the way I used to like allow her to let it out, that was not godly. You understand? And so it was, and I knew she was godly. She would pray whenever things went wrong. She knew how to go before God. I admired that, you know. And let me tell you, it was important for us to be separated so we could have clear visions. You know, it's very possible that we corrupt each other sometimes when we are loving each other. We corrupt each other, we enable each other, we never say anything wrong. And you know, the funny thing is, sometimes our vision clears enough to see when you're separated, it's not even as nice. You start turning against each other. You understand? It's very important. And God is in the business of showing us who we have around. And sometimes He's showing you, and you keep denying that, you keep rejecting what He's showing you because you're comfortable. You want that comfort. You want someone to be running to when there's a lot happening. You want to discuss things. You want this person to carry your burdens, and they don't even like it, but they keep accommodating you, yeah? And whenever they have their burdens, they want you're dumping on each other, and it doesn't make God happy. But so when He comes and decides it is the end, the season is over, wanyiha enda pale, wewe enda pale, we cry and we complain, and I don't know what happens, that our love becomes less and we start messing up, you know. And sometimes we won't let go, and sometimes because we know each other so well, we are like, I don't think this person was that well gifted. I don't like what they're doing anymore, you know. And I don't like that they're not in my control anymore. We hate losing our influence over each other. It's normal. It's manly. But God is not. You know? And He sees the things we cannot see. He hears the things that are said in the secret. Now, naye kwa siri atakujibu kwa wazi. Sometimes we think it's because you prayed so hard. Now God will expose you in front of your enemies and show them how Anyiha is rolling. No. Sometimes He shows you what is happening. And sometimes because we stay in season so long, we are fighting, we are refusing to be separated. God exposes what has been happening in the secret, so that even you as a man will make a decision that, yeah, we need to let go. We cannot do life together. In fact, we are destroying each other. So it's better now. Yeah, we better part peacefully, you know. And it's painful when people leave us. It's powerful when we leave. That's what we want, to be able to be the ones who leave. But sometimes God gives them the strength to leave because He knows if it's up to Anyiha, she won't let that person go. Number 4, God separates us because we have the wrong confidence in people. Do you know Gideon? You know about the story of Gideon. He had, I think, 3,000 men, yeah? Correct me if no, I don't think it was 3,000 men. All I know is that God asked him to leave some men out when going to battle. And they were fighting against a big army. Somebody who would be vigilant, somebody who would be watchful, alert, and they would drink by fetching with their hands, yeah? So God reduces all these people until they remain 300. And they are fighting against thousands of people. Sometimes in our life, we are like that. We are looking at the numbers of friends we have. Maybe we are doing a kaharambe and it becomes a habit. Yeah, whenever there's something, you look at your numbers, you don't even struggle. You don't even learn money discipline. You don't even do anything that requires you to put effort. You know, you're like looking around. I have so many people. Yeah, I know people from high places. I will just call them. We will do this thing. You have people. You have an army. Nobody can shake you. You can't struggle for 5 minutes. You have people. They're coming. They will rescue you. And God is like, so you have so many people. You've even stopped leaning on me. You stopped relying on me. You don't even hear what I say because you have people. And God is like, these people have become your crutch. I will have to take some option. God gives you the awareness that he wants to be your God. He wants to fight for you, you know. Some people don't even worry when they have a sick person because they know people will come in and help, yeah? You do not have any other plan B. Your plan A, B, C is people. And God is like, you not even knelt down for 1 minute to call upon me for this healing. And you're like, hii maisha inataka watu. And God is like, nope. I am the one you need in this situation and I will prove it to you. So when you're done calling people, when people have turned you away and all of that, and they're saying, I can't, I'm not available, all that, that is when you're like, guy, see, people are bad. People are not bad. God is teaching you a thing. And if there's anything I want you to learn today, everybody is made for a purpose. Every person is uniquely made for what they're supposed to do. If we do not let them go, it's going to harm us in the end, yeah? If we don't let people go, it's going to hurt us. It's going to delay us. It's going to confuse us. Sometimes we won't even know what is happening in the season. We have no clarity. We do not understand. We're just moving. It's very important to let go. When God separates us, let them go and trust that you will be friends forever, yeah? Okay. Number 5, God removes people because he has other plans for them. And I learned one particular thing, that sometimes, especially in churches and in places where people gather as groups, sometimes just losing that one member causes so much pain, yeah? And the member goes away because they're hurt, right? They're hurt. They don't feel like they belong in that place. That could be one reason. Another reason, they are called to something else. But we don't want to lose this person. We don't want to. In fact, we don't know that we don't want to lose them. We just know that we don't want our numbers to reduce. Sometimes we've not been celebrating that person. We don't care what they've done or what they've been doing. We don't see it as a big deal, yeah? Perhaps they are caterers, yeah? Ule mama wa chapo ameenda. And the issue is who will be making chapo now. The issue is not, can we bless her so that whatever service she has been doing will expand, or God will bless her new avenues, yeah? People remain very hurting. And whatever reason also that you have left, it is hurting you, yeah? Maybe there was a problem and you had to leave. It is hurting both parties so bad, yeah? But we don't know that God has called this person out of there for a reason. It happens even in workplaces. I ever left a job that I was loved and appreciated. I loved my manager. I loved everything about her. I supported our management and all that. And I felt it was time to go, and it was so difficult. It was so difficult. I ruminated over the issue for a long time. I didn't want to obey, and I kept asking, is this true? You know the way Gideon was asking, give me proof. Give me proof that this is what you're saying. I was in that moment. I needed proof. I needed proof. I needed somebody to speak so I could hear. And I mentioned before, I don't know if it's on this video or the next, I mentioned before that sometimes the person who you're supposed to hear, even if you don't like them, sometimes somebody comes around you and they have moshene and things, you're hearing them loud and irritating because they're supposed to speak to you. They're supposed to tell you something. You're supposed to hear it louder so that you get uncomfortable and understand, yeah? And sometimes it's the same way that God warns you about a person. They will say something, the way we say red flags, yeah? They will say something. You know you're supposed to love this person, you want to be around them, but there are things, there are red flags that are coming up, yeah? The same way. Anyway, so God will send somebody around you to just say something that tells you it is time. Whether you've been fighting with the idea, you just know it is time. Now, this is such a season, yeah? You will know when the tides are turning. You will know when something is changing. You will know. So even though you may be afraid, just know that it's God's doing and you have to let go. Letting go is hard. Just know it's not easier even to the next person, yeah? And let me tell you, sometimes when especially it is people who you've been close with, they know your secrets, they know all these things. You don't want to let go because you're afraid they will expose you, yeah? But you have to let go. You have to trust and believe that Romans 8:28, God is at work. He will turn things around, like I said last time. So whoever this is meant for, I just pray that you will land safely because God really wanted you to hear this. And he loves you, he cares about you, he cares about everything that concerns you, yeah? So as it's turning around, just know you will land safely because he is a God that cares about his children. He cares about you and he'll be there for every situation. When your friends go, send them away with love, if nothing else. Just send them with a lot of love. Pray for them. Sometimes God will even burden you. That is a real thing. Pray for your friends. Let them go. And remember that sometimes they have to start again. Like I said, in the case of people abroad, it's not easy here. People are going through the most. Just bless them, yeah? Let them go with blessings. And let me tell you, they'll be blessed, whether you like it or not. And sometimes even when new people come here, the people who've been here long take them for granted. And they think, the way you're acting and you don't know the systems here, you need us. No. This person is very well equipped. It is of your benefit that you may listen to this person who is coming. And I hope, I remember that when people are sent to me from home and do the right thing, yeah? Sometimes it doesn't always work out when it's not meant to be. But all I'm saying is that God will take care of everything. Just let go. Let go. Let go. You'll be okay. Trust God. So here is Semo. I'll see you on the next one.
Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord